Hi everybody, I just wanted to drop you a quick note on Module 5 and the Paper 1 results. Let me do Paper 1 results first and just say that I graded them. Half of them really didn't address one of the key requirements that I was looking for, which was identifying weaknesses in integrity and competence that you possess and a corrective action plan to make things better. Um, it read as though some of you were purposely avoiding an introspective look. Well, that's not going to cut it in this class. This class is designed for you to take a hard look at yourself and to be candid and basically brutally honest, right? So you can develop and grow. And that's the whole point. So for those of you, about roughly half, you didn't do as well as I had hoped. Um, So you need to up your game for papers 2 and paper 3. And if you're not sure, you can call me and we can go through them. Okay. Um, so I was a little disappointed in about half of you in paper 1. Okay, you're not introspective enough, which basically means you're looking at the requirements. You're trying to bang out the requirements of this class, and I get it, but you're not growing. This is a class to prepare you for leadership and public service, not for working, in corporate America. Okay, um, big difference. And if I have to explain that, then that's an offline conversation. All right. So the other half of you, I would say, did very, very well. Okay, you explored integrity, you explored competence, but then you went further and you looked at yourself and said, hey, I'm failing here with integrity, I'm failing here with competence, and here's what I need to do. And you gave some really good examples. One individual, issue with lying, kind of learned how to lie to manipulate and deceive a very difficult family situation. The person acknowledges it and said, hey, look, this affects my job, affects my personal life, and I need help. So I know counseling, therapy might be a way to go forward. Another similar student talked about looking at self improvement, right? Growing, taking classes uh, to work on their lack of confidence, as an example, okay? Which affects their integrity on the job. So the competence one was fairly easy. Most of you hit that one out of the park. Uh, but again, the introspection is what might come easier for some than others. I get it. But whether you're in your 20s or your 60s, if you can't stand in front of that mirror and bare your soul and see those bad things you don't like about yourself, if you only see good or you rationalize the bad or the weakness, that's bad, because those are the very things that are going to not only affect you in your professional life, but in your personal life. Okay? So enough said there. Module 5, we get into some more theory in a way. We start talking about meta ethics, what were basically this theoretical ethical framework that you'll see in BOSS. Don't get hung up on it too much, but basically, the theoretical or the meta ethical approach to ethics is that we want to understand why we should act a certain way. Okay, what are the benefits, I guess, of acting a certain way? Understand why. Okay, why do I not want to steal? Why do I want to live a good life? Well, because I don't want to go to prison. Okay, I'm oversimplifying it, but that's an idea. Normative ethics, kind of how like some of us may have been raised. Shut up. I don't care what you think. This is what you're doing. This is what you got to do. You got to mow the lawn today. You got to take out the garbage. You got to help mom do this. You got to help dad do that. Don't ask questions. Just do it. Okay? So just to kind of understand two different theories. Okay? Then when you look at meta ethics, the theoretical, which is trying to understand why, Boss explains that you have the emotivism, which is a non-cognitive, right? Non-cognitive emotivism, which is basically like there are no moral truths. It's like back in the '60s, the hippies, smoking pot and saying, "Hey man, it's all cool. Don't matter whatever we do, man. Just give me another hit of that joint. That's all I need. I'm doing good." You know, okay, no moral truths. You're not using your brain. You kind of using the weed, right? Getting you through. Um, that's different than cognitive ethics, where you're putting that joint aside and you're saying, "Hey, I ain't gonna even have a glass of red wine. I'm gonna look at two different theories here. The relativist theory, which basically says ethics is different for different people, or different people have different ethics. Okay, it's all relative to how you feel, relative to your circumstances, your education. So, it's like a hodgepodge, right? And there you have ethical subjectivism, right? Again, ethics is subjective. You have cultural relativism, which is the cultural shaping of your ethics, right? Think about maybe like geography, how certain parts of the world view things. And then you have the divine command theory, which we've kind of read about before. Then you have the universalist theories, which are basically saying, no, no, no. Ethics isn't just what you want it to be. There's a broad umbrella, man, of ethical principles or a framework that applies no matter who you are or where you're at. So just kind of get a flavor for that theoretical reading to understand. Then you're going to go to plant, and in plant you're going to work 2 exercises. Exercise 1.1, again, for the half of you that really didn't dig deep in paper 1, dig deep in 1.1. Okay, let's start getting serious about taking a harder look at yourself. Okay, you could do that in the first plant exercise. The second plant exercise asks us to look at, how culture, race, ethnicity, religion, gender, whatever, may affect our thinking, our value system. So here again, understand what's driving the way you feel, okay? And then try to make sure, as you think about these things, if I'm driven for a cultural reason to view things in life a certain way, if I'm Roman Catholic, should I only view things as a Roman Catholic? No, I don't. I try not to. I try to understand it. It might be a baseline for me, right, to judge others or other situations. And don't tell me I can't judge other people, right? That's another conversation we can have later on. But the difference here is, I want to understand other points of view. But if I stay in my little Catholic bubble, all right, I'm blocking everybody off. Now, it could be I stay in my own skin color bubble, okay, right? Some of you do that, right? Let's face it. What about gender? We only look at things a certain way. I always like to say I'm in touch with my feminine side, okay? I have been for quite a while, actually. But anyway, I won't go any further. You kind of get the drift, right? Check yourself. Do I only view life and make decisions based on what culturally, environmentally has made me who I am? Because if I do, I'm probably making inaccurate, incomplete decisions. All right? This is where you got to challenge yourself to. All right? The other thing you're going to know in 5, we've got 3 videos that are going to deal with, cultural relativism. I think 2 deal with cultural relativism. 1 deals with ethical egoism. The ethical egoism is the 3rd video. I believe it's the Brett Favre scandal about a year ago. The videos are designed to help you understand the theory because some of the theory you might get lost in, okay? So I put these videos together to kind of help you with the reading. Then the two preceding videos deal with basically censorship. We saw a lot during the COVID pandemic. More and more is coming out now, as I mentioned in the previous video. Whether you want to believe it or not is up to you, but don't ignore it, okay? Because many facts are coming out. And the issue during the pandemic was groupthink. Only one solution kind of would work. And now people are going back and saying, didn't seem to be the right kind of way to deal with things. And why did we silence certain voices, okay? And why did most of us allow the silencing? The pop quiz kind of makes it real, doesn't it? If it ain't my skin, I ain't in. Meaning, I don't care. And it's sad that even me, you, sometimes will put our selfish needs ahead of others, even to the point where forget about them dying. That's kind of like over the top, like you might say. But when it came to maybe the vaccine, it wasn't over the top. Or losing a job. So again, what made us think, whether we were on either side, what side, it doesn't matter, like on the vaccine or the mandates you were on, but what drove you to think that way? And what stopped you from looking at the other side and kind of seeing, is there a place for compromise? Is there a place for rationality? Is life really a winner-take-all situation? Is it only a black or a white with no gray? When I was a young auditor, I was raised, trained to think black and white because you use a checklist and audit program, right? But once you get out of auditing and you start really doing accounting, you start realizing, oh man, there's a whole lot of gray. And that's what we get paid to do, to exercise our experience, our knowledge, to deal with the gray, okay? And try to get to either more of the black or more of the white, because things are not always clear cut. So my friends, I leave you with these thoughts. I continue to give you much hope for the rest of the semester because we've got 2 more papers to do. We have a final exam to take. And look, you'll do fine if you meet the core requirements of the course, which just asks you to dig deep. And I know it's tough, all right? But do your best. You got any questions, again, you know how to reach me, all right? With that, have a good weekend. Thank you.